Ronnie, I'm a long-time Liverpool fan, but I grew up in Wales, but I'm from Brazil. In Brazil, there's always a question about 1981 Liverpool Flamengo. Junior and Zico, they always say that like they felt Liverpool players when they got to Tokyo didn't respect so much Flamengo. How was the climax for the Liverpool team going to play in Japan in a game that Europeans normally don't take so serious as South American ones?
Great question, because I for years and years you think about it. When we were told in '81.
And then can you tell me a little bit about the experience of that Flamengo team, which was really good as well?
It was a bad experience because they were so good.
Yeah.
But when we went to travelling out there, couple of years before, there'd been lots of trouble on the pitch, hadn't there, between the South American teams and the European teams?
Yes, because it was the two legs, and then it went to Tokyo to one leg.
And we were told when we went out there, listen, just don't get into any trouble, don't do any more tackles, stay away from things. And when you step off players, that's good. And they were taking it a lot more serious. We did not honestly take that very serious, which we should have. They do now. And if I was playing now, yes, I would. But when your management are telling you, just be careful, don't get injured, don't do anything wrong. And then Flamengo battered us. Zico was magnificent. Was it 3-0?
3-0.
The centre forward in there, or
Nunez
scored 2.
Yeah, Nunez and Adilio did number 8. Little.
We couldn't get a kick against them. They were just so far ahead of us. But I think if we had gone with a different mindset and gone out, this is a big game. I don't know. I think Flamengo had been out there a long time before us, a week before. We got there 2 days before the game, having travelled over Anchorage and into Tokyo and drinking half the way and trying to sleep half the way. It wasn't very good. And then going out for a bath. It wasn't the right way to prepare for a football match, and we paid for it on the pitch. They were just too good for us. Thankfully now everybody travels better and they take the game a lot more seriously.
Can you tell us a little bit about the difference between the Liverpool transfer policy when you were with Liverpool, and as much as you know about how the way the system works at the club now? Because there seems to be some kind of grey area there about how they're pulling in their players, and we never seem to really know how the system works.
Yeah, and I do a column in an Irish newspaper, and I'm asking that question many times because I don't have a clue. There's this transfer committee that I've heard about, and they're supposed to find players, and then Brendan Rodgers buys them. I really am. I haven't got a clue. When you go back to the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, at the end of the season, Liverpool had the team, right? And then you would maybe bring in 2 good players. Mark Lawrence and say, come in, and then maybe somebody else. And then it went to, you're going into the late 80s, you would get Barnes and Beardsley coming in with Houghton and Aldridge. It was like, that was a lot coming in that year, 4 players. There was always 2 or 3 players coming in, trying to fit them into a system that we had going. Then it started to change. Souness took over, and now you had Picnic, Cosma, Paul Stewart, Julian Dix, Neil Ruddock. So it's 5 or 6 players who were never good enough. For me, that was when the downfall started at Liverpool, from when Suey took over, only because he signed bad players. Now, Brendan has signed a lot of younger players. Are they going to be good enough to let Liverpool win a league championship? I don't know. There's just too many have come in at one time. And it's one of them. Let's look and see. I can't say yes, they're going to be great next season.
It's the structure of the transfer policy changed, not because of Graham Souness, but at that time when he came in, and a committee was formed, and then they were involved in those decisions.
I've only ever heard of this committee with Brendan Rodgers. Never in my life have I heard about a committee before, till they started coming out in the papers. But he has a transfer committee. They find players. I don't think that's the way to do things. I think it's a manager's job with his chief scouts that they find a player somewhere, they watch him a few times, they say this is half decent, we go and watch him. Then the manager has to go and watch him and then go, yeah, I want him, I'll buy him, I can fit him into a place that I want to fit him into. But if I was a manager and someone said to me, that's a committee, they're finding you a player, now you deal with it. You can't work like that. And I hope that's not the way Brendan's working with it, but we'll have
That's
to
been
wait and
what,
see.
the last 20 years? The last soonest?
To change something. So he was 94, wasn't he? But I don't know. I don't know which way they're going with that with the transfer committee. If you can find great young players, oh, so be it. We'll all be happy. But we're not so close last year, but it's going to be hard to get Champions League spot this year.
Right, just like, thanks, man.
You think Rahim